Hello everyone, this is Jason Merkel and I'm here today with the amazing E-flite P-51D Mustang 1.5 meter warbird. This thing, guys, it is our largest E-flite P-51 yet, and it is by far our mightiest Mustang yet. It's got a ton of surface features. You may not be able to see them in this video, but we're gonna have a lot of other videos, photos that you guys can see all that up close. Obviously, we've got guns, we've got panel lines, all kinds of surface details that we don't put in some of the smaller aircraft. We do call it extra scale for that reason. We've got drop tanks included, we got treaded tires, of course, and then on top of that, we also have functional scale features. Obviously a really great, awesome four-blade prop as per the scale aircraft. We have retractable landing gear, including sequenced gear doors. And then on top of that, we also have a retractable tail wheel in the scale location. You know, a lot of smaller warbirds, they won't have the retractable tail wheel. It'll be mounted off the rudder, which is not quite scale. So we've got that added as well. Of course, we have functional flaps, which work fantastic. We also have navigation lights. You guys probably see the red light on the wingtip there, and you'll probably hopefully see it. It's getting a little dark out, and hopefully you guys can see those lights in action in the air. One thing I want to point out is that even though this is a relatively large model, it's very easy to transport. The wing is 3 pieces, and we'll cover that in another video, where the outer panels unplug just outside the flaps here, so the landing gear stays with the center section, so it's easy to move the airplane in and out of cars, to set it down, and those outer panels plug in with no fasteners. There's no wiring, none of that required. It just snaps right into place, works phenomenal. Again, check out some of our other videos to see that in more detail. And then one of the other great things about this P-51, it's that it's our smartest P-51 yet. It not only includes, in the bind and fly basic version, the Spectrum AR637TA receiver, which has full range telemetry. It also has a Spectrum Avion Smart 100 amp ESC. And that's phenomenal because if you use a standard battery, you'll still get full battery voltage telemetry right back to your transmitter. You've got motor temperature, ESC temperature. If you use a smart battery, the Spectrum Smart LiPo on top of that, you have additional battery data. You can see individual cell voltages, the imbalances between the cells, how many cycles, how warm the battery gets. It's really phenomenal stuff. Again, we're going to cover a lot of that in other videos. This is a flight talk video, so we're going to show you guys some flying. And by the way, I will point out it is a 6S power system. And one of the reasons that we chose this 1.5 meter size was because we wanted the airplane to have phenomenal performance on a 6S, all the way from 4,000 up to a 7,000 milliamp battery. Yes, we've had some larger, you know, for example, Carbon Z T28 in the past, which is a much larger aircraft, and it flew on a 6S 5000, but it wasn't necessarily fighter-like performance. We wanted this to fly like a fighter and not only have good speed, phenomenal vertical, but also good flight times, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the battery that you use. Today, we're flying with a 6S 5000 30C Spectrum Smart LiPo battery, which is probably typical of what most people are going to use. You could probably use anything as low as a 3200 up to even an 8000, but we typically have been using the 4000, the 5000, and the 7000 milliamp 30C Spectrum Smart LiPos. They work great. We've got the obviously Outrunner motor installed in there. Gives really good performance. Level flight speeds around 80 miles per hour, which is pretty darn good for a model this size. And again, it's just like fighter-like performance, which is exactly what we were kind of going for, with good flight times, easy to transport, at the same time a ton of scale details, and then on top of it all, to have smart technology inside of it, absolutely phenomenal. But let's get to the flying. So I am using a DX8 today, guys. You only need a 6-channel transmitter to fly it if you're not using AS3X and Safe Select. I do have Safe Select on this aircraft at the moment. I probably will not be using it, but I do have that. One thing that I like to do, it's a personal preference thing, with a scale model in particular, is I like to bring up the throttle trim to get the prop kind of just idling. Just kind of looks more scale when you stop at the end of the runway before you take off, or even if you come in for a landing and you let it slow down. So I'm going to put the flaps down to the takeoff position. Taxi down the runway here. We've got a little bit of a crosswind today. And obviously with a tail dragger or warbird in particular, that can make things a little more difficult. But this airplane, it absolutely flies fantastic, handles fantastic, makes things easier than other airplanes. All right.